Good morning. So our topic for today under aquaculture subject is safekeeping and disposing of tools, materials, and outfits. For this topic, we will have our learning objectives, which are number one, explain how to clean, utilize tools and outfits before storing. Number two, unused materials and supplies are labeled according to manufacturer's recommendation before storing. And last, how to dispose waste materials are observed. And then we will meet again different terminologies or different words that are new to us. These are amber, which is the meaning is a dark orange yellow color, deterioration, the impairment of value and usefulness, the failing from a higher to a lower level of quality. Label, a word or phrase that describes or identifies something. Next, we have recycled, to make something new from something that has been used before, to use something again. Next, we have soluble, susceptible of being dissolved in liquid. We also have storage, which is the act of putting something that is not being used in a place where it is available and can be kept safely. And last, we have toxicity, which contains poisonous substances or substance. For the pretest, before we start with the discussion, our pretest is multiple choice. So direction is you choose the letter of the correct answer. Number one question, what is the best to do after using your work clothes? A, dry them soon. B, wash them soon. C, dry and wash them. D, keep them inside the cabinet. Next question, what is the best product you will have to use to remove the stains on your work clothes? A, oil. B, bleach. C, vinegar. D, detergent. Number three, which of the following is the most practical disinfecting agent for your work clothes? A, water. B, bleach. C, cooking oil. D, heat of the sun. Next question, what will you do to avoid scratches from your sunglasses when it is not in use? A, put them on your head, put them inside a case, wrap them with a towel, put them inside your pocket. Number five, what will you use to remove the dirt or mud embedded in the sole of your rubber boots? A, rag. B, stick. C, stiff brush. D, paper tissue. Next question is which of the following practices is not advisable to do when cleaning rubber boots? A, air drying rubber boots. B, cleaning rubber boots with warm water. C, drying rubber boots in an outside down position. D, drying rubber boots near the heat generating machine. Number seven, which of the following practices should be avoided when storing your feeds? A, labeling feed ingredients. B, storing feeds longer than 3 months. C, storing the feeds in well-ventilated areas. D, avoiding the feeds to be exposed to direct sunlight. Next question, what is the most advisable storage area for wet ingredients? A, cabinet. B, cooler box. C, refrigerator. D, plastic container. Number nine, we have which of the following practices is a correct solid waste management? A, throwing waste. B, recycling waste. C, burying waste. D, burning waste. Last number 10. The following are necessary information that should be indicated on the label of the pesticide container except A. Toxicity rating, B. Active ingredients, C. Price of pesticides, and D. FPA registration number. For now, we're going to start discussing the subtopic, which is taking care of PPE. So again, when you say PPE, this is a personal protective equipment. So in the previous topics, you have learned the different use of PPE in aquaculture that are very important in carrying out the task in the farm because they basically protect the employees from any possible accident, hazards, or risk. To properly care and maintain the PPE, below are some suggested ways. So, in work clothes, there are tips for washing work clothes. Number one, sort the items by color. Keep white and light colors from dark colors and separate from non-color items. B. Pre-treat stains and heavily soiled clothes. Pay attention to the textile care symbol for bleaching. C. When using powdered detergent, dissolve them first in water. Soak the clothes for no longer than 30 minutes. D. Rinse clothes thoroughly in water until the water is clear. And E. Hang the clothes under the heat of the sun. The next, properly care and maintain the PPE suggestion is for protection, which is sunglasses and goggles. So letter A, you need to do if you are not going to wear the sunglasses and goggles, they should be kept inside the case to avoid damage such as getting bent, scratched, or broken. And B, keep them clean. Make sure to use spray, cleaner, and soft clothes in cleaning. Do not use tissue or towel as they might scratch the lens. Next, suggested ways when we talk about footwear or example, rubber boots and waders. Letter A, always clean them every after use. Remove dirt such as mud or stones under running water using a brush. Letter B, to improve the odor of boots, clean the inside of boots using warm water and add a little amount of vinegar or any acid substance, or the vinegar itself has an acid substance, and wash a soap, then rinse thoroughly with running water. Then letter C, never dry boots or waders in direct sunlight or any heat generating units such as radiators or stoves because they are very sensitive to too much heat. So air dry them in an upside down position. Okay, now let's talk about or discuss the another subtopic, which is storage of feeds. So feeds are in this indispensable part of aquaculture operation. So the success of raising fish and shrimp mainly relies on the quality of feeds being given to the cultured stocks. So the proper storage is very important. So to prevent or minimize deterioration of feeds or feed ingredients, you need to follow different rules for dry ingredients and feeds and for wet ingredients and feeds. So first, let's talk about for dry ingredients and feeds. So what will we do? The first one, provide a clean, dry, secure, and well-ventilated storage area. Avoid direct exposure to sunlight. Next, label feeds and feed ingredients properly. Arrange feeds by kind and date. Next, pile feed bags not more than 6 bags high on a platform 12 to 15 centimeter off the floor to discourage insects. Spread ash around and under the platform. Number four, store feeds not longer 3 months. Use old feeds before the new ones. Keep in mind that the first in, first out rule in storing feeds. Last, do not walk on the sacks of feeds. Now, let's talk about moist or wet feeds ingredients. So, number one, use fresh trash fish immediately or keep them frozen until used. Number two, keep oil and fats in sealed amber or dark colored containers and place inside a cold storage or refrigerator. So maintain the temperature of the storage below 10 degrees Celsius, and then avoid overloading and unnecessary opening of the storage. Number three, keep vitamins in an airtight container, then light-proof containers inside the refrigerator. So keep vitamins and minerals in separate containers. Next, we have also the subtopic, which is entitled How to Handle and Store a Chemical uh, we used in a fish farm. So there's different chemicals that we use in fish farm. Namely, we have fertilizers, we have fuels and lubricants, and pesticide. So now, how to handle this the fertilizer chemicals? Okay, so when you say fertilizer, so most chemical fertilizers are explosive materials, so they must be protected from a contact with petroleum products. So open flames or sparks to prevent them from exploding. So the chemical fertilizer are highly soluble. They must be stored indoors. Next, fuels and lubricants. The spills of fuels and lubricant can contaminate water and soil. So careless handling and improper storage of these substances can also cause fires and explosions. So fuels should be stored above ground in high quality storage tank. So these tanks should have vents with 3 to 4 meter high vent pipes to remove vapor. So the tank should be clearly marked as flammable and the nature of their content should be identified. So used oils should be collected in suitable containers and shipped to recycling center. Next, pesticides. So in pesticides, in spite of the benefits that people can get from using pesticides, there are also some negative effects. So definitely most pesticides persist in the environment for the longer periods. Therefore, it poses a threat such as toxicity to some humans, animals, and other useful plants. So using pesticides, you need to follow the guidelines. So number one, all pesticides used in the country must have been registered with the Fertilizer and Pesticide Association, or what we call FPA. Next, the pesticides label must contain information such as trade name, active ingredients, directions for use, toxicity rating, and the FPA registration number that is attached to all pesticide container. When applying pesticides also, PPE should be in good condition. So check for leaks, replace worn out parts, and carefully calibrate equipment. Next, when preparing pesticides for application, be accurate and specific in mixing. And lastly, store and dispose unused chemicals in their containers according to label instructions. Okay, so now let's talk about the last subtopic, which is entitled the 3 R's in solid waste management. So the 3 R's, which is what we call the reduce, the reuse, and recycle, aims to cut down the amount of waste people throw away. So it has the following advantages. So number one, it helps conserve our natural resources. Number two, it helps conserve space in landfills. And last, it generates money or additional money by the sale of scrap materials from fish farms. So that's the end of the discussion for now. So let's take the post test to check your learning. So for the post test, the directions is to check the appropriate safekeeping and maintenance practices. So we have table. So let me read. So we have 10 items actually. So items, number one is work clothes. Number two, feeds, fertilizers, pesticides, rubber boots. Then we also have sacks of feeds, plastic containers, gasoline, nets, and ropes. So just check if it is for washing and drying. For safekeeping practices, it should be washing and drying, proper storage, lane labeling, or reuse and recycling. Okay, for the next part, number six, sacks of feeds. Number seven, plastic containers. Number eight, gasoline. Number nine, nets. And number 10, ropes. So, what are the safekeeping practices for these items? Uh, is it washing and drying, proper storage and labeling, or reuse and recycled? All right. So, this is the answer key for our pre-test and post-test a while ago. For pretest, number 1, C, 2, B, 3, D, 4, C, 5, C, 6, D, 7, B, 8, C, 9, B, and 10 is C. For the post test, the first slide, for the items work clothes, the safekeeping practices is washing and drying, proper storage and labeling, and reuse and recycle. For feeds, the safekeeping practices is proper storage and labeling. For fertilizer, proper storage and labeling. Pesticide, proper storage and labeling. For rubber boots, the safekeeping practices is washing and drying and reuse and recycle. For sacks of feeds, the safekeeping practices is for washing and drying and reuse and recycled. For plastic container, the safekeeping practices, washing and drying, reuse and recycled. Gasoline, safekeeping practices, proper storage and labeling. Nets, safekeeping practices is washing and drying and reuse and recycled. And last, we have ropes, the safekeeping practices, washing and drying. For the references of this topic or lecture, disclaimer, I Agree by Sir Dan is an educational vlog. The purpose of this vlog is to provide free education to discuss lessons and clarify issues related to agriculture. The channel owner wishes to thank the trustworthy sources that have helped make this edu vlog possible. Any opinions or views shared in this vlog are also personal and belong to I Agree by Sir Dan. So the views of any person that is directly or indirectly connected to the owner do not inherently represent them. In addition, any dependency you put on the material included herein is solely at your own risk. Finally, if you need more details or have questions, please feel free to contact the owner. And thank you for the following: Tristan Laruan, Maurice Gravides, De La Salle Araneta University, and Phoenix Publishing House.